Are AI-driven robotaxis going global? We'll answer that question right now. So we've talked before about how robotaxis are starting to roll out across the U.S., initially in Phoenix and San Francisco, but now have rolled out to LA, to cities in Texas like Austin, Nashville, Tennessee, and are in the permitting process for New York City. And I've also talked about how China is way ahead of the U.S. right now in autonomous vehicles in a lot of ways, and that definitely includes robotaxis as well. But now another country has launched a major robotaxi initiative with the help of its government. So the company that we're going to talk about is called Tier 4. Tier 4 tapped for Japanese initiative to develop robotaxis and autonomous trucks. So unlike here in the U.S., there's actually direct government support in other countries for these kind of initiatives. Tier 4 has announced its selection for a project in Japan aimed at deploying robotaxis for transportation and autonomous trucks for logistics. Overseen by Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry, the initiative is designed to promote digital transformation in the mobility sector through autonomous driving development and proof of concept test. And they got $4.5 million for 2024 from the Japanese government to do this. The company is the pioneering force behind the world's first open source software for autonomous driving called AutoWare. So this really is different, right? Because all the other robotaxi companies have used proprietary software that is not available to other people. This open source software will become generally available, which will open up robotaxis to other places around the globe eventually, including Australia, Asia, and Africa, other parts of Asia. In May, Tier 4 announced efforts to launch the robotaxi business in Tokyo in collaboration with partner companies. Why do they collaborate? Because Tier 4 does the software, not the vehicle and the hardware needed for the autonomous driving, like sensors. The company is working on several initiatives in preparation for the mass production of robotaxi vehicles and the nationwide deployment of robotaxi services. So Japan isn't fooling around. This is going to be rolled out nationwide there. How quickly will that happen? Initially targeting areas and times that conventional taxi operators struggle to serve, the service set to launch a unique robotaxi service in November of 2024. So only 2 months from now, this thing is going to start launching. We'll begin with proof of concept tests in the Tokyo Bay area of Odaiba. I'm not saying that correctly, but sorry. The goal is a gradual expansion to cover major districts in Tokyo by 2025. That's next year. Robotaxis will be citywide in Tokyo, which is a massive city. Tier 4 has developed multiple classes of reference designs for developing AD systems based on AutoWare. So what the company does is they set up a base reference design for an autonomous driving software system that can be adapted to individual vehicles very quickly, which is a great business model, by the way. AD systems are verified and validated to be functional using the company's software platforms. So not only are they designing these systems, but they're validating them immediately. For technical validation, the Robotaxi reference design incorporated into the Japan taxi vehicle model has achieved sufficient safety and availability, meaning they've already tested this thing in the vehicle and it works. Commercial applications have also been deployed successfully, leveraging several other variants that were inherited from the Robotaxi reference design for public transportation networks nationwide and in-factory logistics. So there's already an ecosystem that has developed around these software solutions that will penetrate many aspects of transportation, plus warehouses. Also in May, Tier 4 announced efforts to accelerate the development of the core functions of autonomous driving systems for highway trucks. It plans to provide reference designs to truck manufacturers, driving the deployment of autonomous vehicles in the logistics sector. Initially, they're working with Isuzu and Mitsubishi Fuso Truck and Bus. And by the way, Japan is going to do this right. What do I mean by that? They are creating a priority lane for autonomous vehicles on the major expressway in Tokyo called Shintomi Expressway. So autonomous vehicles are going to get their own lane in Tokyo on the freeway. Also, Tier 4 is integrating the mapless autonomy platform from German startup DriveBlocks into its autonomous driving software, which they abbreviate as AD. Using the startup software allows AD platforms to navigate using perception, meaning sensors, rather than high-definition maps, a method proven effective already on Europe's most challenging routes, such as the Brenner Pass. And again, Europe is ahead of the US in a lot of ways on autonomous driving. As you know, Level 4 autonomy has been approved in Europe, Germany, and the UK specifically on certain expressways. That's Level 4 autonomy. The integration of DriveBlocks technology is particularly valuable for Tier 4's highway trucking initiative as it creates a redundant safety layer. So basically, you'll have these HD maps and the perception systems working together. Redundancy. Proof of concept tests conducted by the partners on highways have already achieved reliable perception and accurate road corridor modeling at speeds up to 62 miles per hour, which is 100 kilometers per hour, under various driving conditions, including tunnels and low light situations. So already tested, already working. Tier 4 is placing a strong emphasis on continuing to develop robust object detection capabilities, enabling autonomous trucks to perceive their surroundings and navigate safely on the highway, especially in complex scenarios with diverse objects like merging vehicles and debris. So what does this story really mean? Number one, robotaxis and autonomous trucks are rolling out globally starting next year. I've done other videos about how fully autonomous trucks are hitting the roads here in the United States in late 2024 and in more scale, much more scale in 2025. Well, the same is going to be happening in Europe, now in Japan, and in China. So that's number one. This phenomenon is going global. Number two, this open source software for these AutoWare-based systems is really a game changer because it means that once the software is created, because it's open source, anyone can use it. This is going to save, Waymo has probably spent literally billions developing its proprietary software. Now this software will be open source and available probably very inexpensively, which will allow autonomous driving to go global, even to less affluent areas of the world like Africa and certain parts of Asia and the Middle East. So this is important and leads to point three, which is, as I said at the start of the AI guide, AI is a global phenomenon. It will affect every country and every person globally over a reasonably short amount of time, meaning 5 to 10 years. In the industrialized countries that we've been talking about for these autonomous driving systems, much sooner than that. Next year or sooner, will start to roll out. And believe me, because, for example, here in the US, the autonomous driving providers for trucks, for example, have narrowed down to a few. These databases and algorithms are going to get millions of truck miles very, very quickly and therefore very, rapidly improve. Why? Because AI is exponential, and the sensors driving perception for these vehicles are also in an exponential improvement stage. So get ready, folks. Autonomy will take over the roads in the next few years. First in cities, clearly. Why? Because of the sheer number of vehicles and the ability to rationalize transportation on a mass scale. And then after that, out in the countryside of all the countries. But ultimately, all vehicles everywhere. So thanks so much for tuning in. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Also, please support us on Patreon. We're starting to get your support. Really appreciate that. That support will allow us to go to AI conferences and bring you news from the cutting edge. So thanks so much. Really appreciate all my subscribers hitting 1,600 this week. Thanks so much. Take care. See you next time. Bye.